Welcome to this week's episode of Why We're Single, which is actually a true Why We're Single because Lasercorn's not here. And he's engaged. He's not single. That bastard left us here alone. Anyways, we're talking about games to make you smarter.
I am too smart. I am too smart.
My first game is Tetris. Like, seriously. This game is like one of the greatest games of all time. Like, some people think, oh, you're just putting shapes together. No, like, the amount of, like, the speed that this is coming at you, like, you have the reaction time in there, and you have to be able to, like, think and figure out on your toes, like, all right, this is gonna work best if I do this. This is gonna work best if I do this. And you're always constantly planning ahead and waiting for that long, skinny shape to kind of come down and save your life. But Tetris, like, I remember playing Tetris on the Super Nintendo a lot. And I'm pretty intelligent now, so I'm gonna say those two, they're linked together. Come on.
So really what I'm getting out of that is that Joven likes long, skinny shapes in his open spaces. Anyway, the games that made me more smarterer, I'm gonna go ahead and start with a game that actually taught me things. So Math Blaster, this is an old computer game that I used to play. I think they've made a ton of them, but the original Math Blaster, there were like aliens and stuff flying at your spaceship, and in order to blast them, you had to type in the answers to math questions. Yes, you used math to defeat aliens, which is kinda sorta what happened in Independence Day, if you remember. You had to program a computer virus, that's all math. So really, Math Blaster has saved the planet Earth in multiple instances.
Welcome to Earth.
One of my greatest teachers growing up was actually Mario. He was Dr. Mario. Kind of talked about Tetris a little bit. Dr. Mario was one of those things where you had to, again, plan ahead, be ready, and just kind of like know this is the piece that I need, this is how I want to utilize them. So if you're taking out this bug up here and you're stacking it, you want to be able to prepare for these guys down here so that when these fall down, they'll actually trigger and actually just have this pile of amazing, like, just destruction and points and intelligence just feeding in from the TV screen. Also, another great Mario game was Mario is Missing, which is actually not as much a Mario game as it was really Luigi's Time to Shine, where you travel around the world trying to figure out where you are in the world to figure out where in the world Mario is. Not Carmen Sandiego, but actually Mario. It was neat. Like, I actually learned about places in the world and like the history of different cities, and now I want to travel a lot more because of that game.
What cities did you learn about?
I learned about Rome. And
What did you learn about
I
Rome?
learned about the Leaning Tower of Pisa. That's in Rome, right?
Okay, well, Joven talked about Mario games. I think he forgot one very important Mario game, and that's Mario Teaches Typing. Yes, you had to learn how to type by moving Mario through the level. So, like, you'd be moving along, and there'd be, like, keys that you had to press in order to progress Mario further through the level. So, like, any step or movement and, like, jumping and anything. So really, you weren't doing anything but typing letters that came up on the screen. But it was a fun little visual. You see Mario, like, woohoo, jumping over and moving along just based on what you were typing. So that actually taught you a skill as opposed to where in the world is Carmen Sandiego clone he was talking about, which apparently taught him nothing about the world.
And the classic game of wit and intelligence is by far chess. And my favorite chess game growing up was Star Wars Chess on the PC. Literally the only PC game I ever really played growing up, where you had your pawns, you have your Imperial versus Rebels, and like anytime someone took someone over, there was actually like this cool animation. It was really funny. It was awesome. And that triggered my love for chess growing up, which actually then got me into loving strategy games, loving Magic the Gathering. So Star Wars Chess, thank you. And now if I can just get a DOS simulator on my computer without frying everything, I'm gonna play it again.
And then there's a whole list of strategy games that we can go through that taught you critical thinking skills, placing units around a battlefield. I don't know what relevance that has to your life, but it probably made you a little smarter. So let's roll them off. We got Final Fantasy Tactics. There's all the XCOM games. You got, there's this great game for the PC called Odium, which was just kind of you versus aliens or infected people kind of thing. Anyway, there's a bunch of them, but those sort of little board game strategy games where you can only move a certain amount of units, and then each of your guys has different abilities. Those games are always pretty cool, and kind of based on chess. I know Joven mentioned some chess in there, so we can throw that in there. They're sort of spawns of chess if you really think about it. So yeah, they're really cool games.
Now this is Smosh Games. One of my favorite games growing up. It wasn't always a video game, but it is a video game now, so this counts. But Magic the Gathering. which again, just so much, yes, Sewing like against this one completely, but the amount of strategy that goes into this game, and some might say, oh, it's a deck game, so it's just luck. No, if you put the right skills and thinking into the deck building aspect of this game, then you don't have to rely on luck. It's so smart. It teaches you to learn your opponent, to be able to think on your toes. There's so much strategy in this game. It's bettered me as a person, and now it's a game, and that just makes life even better because you have these pre-made decks, that's cool, and so you can be good with those pre-made decks, or the real skill is actually taking away from those decks because you get so many cards and you're like, you know what, if I take these cards out and these cards out, this deck will work that much more efficiently to work when you're playing against other people online instead of just the computer. So yeah, Magic the Gathering, such a smart game.
And then the game I think that really helped my critical thinking skills the most would have to be Portal. I don't think I've ever been more confused when I started a game than when I played Portal. I was like, I have to get up there, and there's no ladders or anything. How the hell do I even get up there? And then you had to figure out that, okay, I have to launch one portal on the ground and then one behind me, and then I have to keep launching them on the ground to build up momentum to shoot yourself up. That was the first puzzle that I was like, what the f is going on right now? So then you go through the game and the puzzles get harder and harder, but yeah, they really teach you to think outside the box in ways that you wouldn't normally have. And it's cool because there are actually some puzzles in the game that you can solve multiple ways, especially in Portal 2. So Portal definitely made me smarter. And I plays video games to be's more smarterers, so that's why I's is single.